and thank you for joining Facebook Live with HMR. I'm Rick Reese, a health coach in the program, joined by fellow health coach Allie. Hey, Allie, thank you so much for arranging to have our guests here tonight. I'm really excited about it. Appreciate that. And then we also have program members Cindy and Beth. Guys, how are things in the Pacific Northwest today?
Cold.
Yeah, really. Got our first
That's
snow in
new.
Boston. A little bit of snow in Boston, our first little dusting, but more to come. So thank you guys for being here. We spoke last week. I got a chance to hear your stories. I can't wait to revisit them here with our viewers. You guys have both done just amazing things in the program. So looking forward to you guys sharing that. Allie, why don't you just take a minute and just sort of overview Cindy and Beth's success to this point in the program for our viewers?
Sure, be happy to. So I think what jumps out at me about Beth is that she joined the program during COVID. And so we've all had a lot of challenges with weight since COVID started. And so Beth joined in May and over 7 months has lost 75 pounds. And so Beth, really, you have been all in 100% from the very beginning, in the box every day, attending class every week. 2000 PA physical activity right from the get-go. So I think that that has really led to all of your success, that you were 100% committed to all the things that we asked you to do in this program.
100%.
Yes. We'll hear more.
And Cindy spent about a year in phase 1 and about 3.5 years in phase 2, has lost 109 pounds. And so I think that what stands out for me about Cindy is that she continued to lose weight in phase 2. That's kind of a barrier to have people moving from phase 1 to phase 2. They might say, I'm not going to lose any more weight. I don't want to go to phase 2. But Cindy continued to lose an additional 20 pounds in phase 2. And I would say that Cindy has maintained her weight in the tightest range of anyone I've ever worked with in this program. So that is very impressive to me. And I can't wait for you to all hear their stories because these two ladies are so inspiring. So it's an honor for me to be here with them.
Truly, truly. Guys, I will just say we sparked some weather talk already from our guests. So we have, unfortunately, there is some rain happening in Rancho Cucamonga with Bob. And we have John, who says he's enjoying snowshoeing up here, wherever he is. Where are you, John? I don't know that I know. I know you, but I don't know which state you're in. So anyway, yeah, we're really excited to hear your stories. I want to come right out of the chute, guys. Last week, we had such an awesome event that I'd shared with you with Dr. Goose, Alan, and Will. And we had asked a question right up front to really start us off that I'd like to actually repeat with each of you. So you ready? What is a word or a phrase that comes to your mind to describe your experience with HMR? I realize it's a big question. And I will just say, if anyone who was watching, we did ask this question last week, many of you answered. If you didn't answer that last week, I would love for you, anyone who's watching, to, what is your answer to that question? A word or a phrase that describes your experience with HMR? Cindy, start us off.
I would say life-changing.
Life-changing. Okay, I'm going to come back to you. Beth, what do you say? Word or phrase?
I got 2 things: easy and just do it.
Ooh, I like that. A little shot of motivation and then a directive.
Yeah.
All right. Well, these actually work together pretty well. Cindy, so life change. Just say just a little bit more about that without getting too much into your story, because we're going to unpack that during the hour.
I would do anything for these nutritionists. They have been so phenomenal and have helped me so much. I could not have done this by myself. I had tried for years with no success or very little success. And they just, I mean, I cannot encourage people enough to get good professional help. They've been spot on with everything, and truly, it has been life-changing.
Great. Well, let me just tell you that Janice Brown, her sentiments are amazing and life-changing. So she completely agrees with you. And I'll also just say, Beth, Monica from your group has shared, Elizabeth has been in class from the beginning and has definitely been an inspiration to us all. So proud of you, Elizabeth. I'm sure she's talking to you. That is
Monica's
great.
awesome.
Yeah, that's great. So again, you don't have to belabor it, but you say the first thought that comes to your mind, HMR, your experience, easy. Well, that's a curious answer. So just dwell on that just a little bit more.
I don't need to dwell. I call it the, I don't want to think about it plan. Because it's like HMR told me what to do, showed me how to do it, supported me when I did it. What's easier than that? It's just, this is 99% of it right here. And just do it. And so I did it and I can't believe it.
Yeah,
So,
wonderful. I love it.
You know, it's choices every day, but when it comes down to it, it's the easiest program I've ever done that's given me the most fabulous results.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Fantastic. Bob Garrison, his word, unbelievable. I love that too, to describe this experience. Really wonderful. HMR program, I said, Elizabeth clearly has a fan club. That's just a little comment in the comment section. Let's get into your stories, guys. We're going to go through this chronologically as we often do, but I have to say, in a meeting that we had at HMR about these events, it did occur to us that when we go purely chronologically, it does postpone sometimes to the latter part of the event some of the more inspiring changes that people are want to share. So we thought that tonight we would mix it up just a little bit. And I'm going to ask you to sort of pepper the positives that you're experiencing with your health, with your quality of life throughout the discussion. Don't worry about it. I'm going to prompt you to do it. So I'll be looking to do that periodically. And for our audience, I'm going to ask all of you, please start thinking about some of the many different things that you've noticed, the positives that you've noticed and you feel are important as a function of the commitment you've made to yourself around your weight loss, your lifestyle change, your health, and your quality of life. So be thinking about that, and we'll be prompting. But we are talking about life before HMR to start. So Allie, you know, you've worked with so many people in the program through the years. What is something that you would like to ask either Cindy or Beth as it relates to their life before HMR? Anything come to mind for you?
Yeah, so I'd like to hear about your experiences with other times that you've tried to lose weight.
Yes, good.
So Beth, why don't you start?
Oh shoot, I've been trying to lose weight, I swear, since I was born. I was this pudgy little girl, always, you know, through my life, and, you know, the big girl section and last one picked. And when I heard about different ways to lose weight, it's like, sign me up, tell me what to do. Do I eat grapefruit? Do I eat eggs? Is it a no carb? Is it I've never done the keto thing, or the pull something with a P, never done that.
Paleolithic.
Yeah, that one, never done that.
Yes.
But you know, you try them and you'd be excited for a week or two, you'd see the scale go down, but it's probably water you're losing. And then it would plateau, and it's just like, oh, well, that didn't work. And so it was just multiple efforts of trying really on my own. And I've done Weight Watchers, I've done MetaFast, where I was successful to the point, but as soon as I went off the program, you know, it came right back, and you sort of want to go hide. But this is the life changer.
Oh, great. I love that. We'll hear more about that.
Okay. Cindy, do you have anything to add?
Yes, like what I did previously when I was younger, I would skip a meal or I'd have an apple for lunch. It just didn't work for me anymore. And I just couldn't get it right. And each year it became worse. And I just had no success. And I would actually just give up hope and think, this is how I'm supposed to be. I can't lose weight. You know, I might as well enjoy myself and eat what I want to, because I'm miserable. I can't do it.
Right. Did either of you face any judgments from others about your weight?
That's a great question.
When I was overweight, or as I was losing weight?
When you were overweight?
I would Yes, I believe that. I was always active. Again, I don't know why. I mean, I do know why I was so overweight, but I think a lot of people just assume, oh, that they're lazy. They just need to eat less. And what I have learned is obesity is a very complex disease. There's a lot to it. It wasn't, that I wasn't active. I just had a lot to learn. I had to, totally relearn how to eat, all of that. But yes, I do believe people treat me differently now. Some people, I should say, some people have loved me no matter what. And I really appreciate those people because I feel the same. I'm the same person.
Great.
It's so easy. It's an area that's filled with judgments, isn't it, guys? Beth, anything from your life, before HMR, really struggling with your weight? Not just judgments from others. I think this is also an area where it's very easy to judge yourself.
Oh,
Be really harsh.
absolutely.
And internal narratives that, weren't supportive. Either one, any judgments? And I would ask that I don't think we ever asked this of our audience, Allie. It's kind of an interesting question brought up here in our audience. Before HMR, if you've lost weight and things are different now, what was it like before? Were you experiencing judgments or self-imposing judgments on yourself? Beth, what comes to mind for you?
One of the things that pops to mind is when I was in 3rd grade, my mom remarried, and not too long after that, my stepdad told me I was fat. And that it must have impacted me because I still remember it. Jumping up on the bathtub to see the mirror, and all I could see was me. That's all I knew. And then later, I had 5 children, and so I was always pregnant. It seemed like, and gaining weight with each one. And just a few years ago, I have a difficult time with one of my older sons that's out of the house. And he said, I was always embarrassed of you because you were fat. And, it just, for a mom to hear that, it's like, wow, I'm sorry, I didn't know, but, that's the way it is. So I did send him that picture that you showed of me now. And he was really pleased.
Yeah.
I think, Rick, one of the things you said in terms of internal narratives, one of the things that I used to do is I would go to bed each night and I would say, I'll have a better day tomorrow.
Right.
And I meant about my eating, that I would eat more healthy, I would eat less. Every night I said that. And that's one of the positives, is I no longer feel that way. I feel like I have the skills to make good decisions, and I know I will eat well tomorrow.
Yep. Boy, I tell you, if I'm just speaking to our viewers, if anything that you're hearing from Beth or from Cindy, if it resonates, if you can relate to that experience, or you just want to provide them some encouragement, please feel free to comment, share. Even a little like or a smiley face goes a long way. Really generous comments, guys. I appreciate both of you sharing about that. I did say, as we're going through, we're still in the before HMR, but again, we don't want to save everything that you're experiencing that you feel is what makes it all worth it, the positives to the end. So let's just jump to that for a minute, and then we'll get back, Allie, into what maybe had our guests deciding to join HMR. So the positives of lifestyle change. Again, we're experimenting here, peppering this throughout our events discussion tonight. So Beth, Cindy, I'd like you to think about something that you're experiencing now that speaks to the difference that your commitment to your weight and your health has made in your life. So Beth, let me show that picture that you just mentioned, and why don't you start us off?
Well, I'm just excited that I would think the main thing is the physical activity, and I look forward to it. And where beforehand I would avoid it really at all costs because my knees hurt, my ankles hurt. It was just hard. It wasn't fun. I'd always get out of breath. And now it's just like, I want it to be a good day. I want to go outside or up on my bike and just have great physical activity because I know it's good for my heart. It's good for my body. And it just makes me feel so good that I can do it. And that it's going to give me so many more really great years with my husband and my grandkids and my kids.
Oh, it's great. Awesome share. What a difference. Oh, it's really great. Cindy, I want to put your pre and post up if I could. And what comes to mind for you? Something you're experiencing now that speaks to the difference that HMR has made in your life.
I feel confident engaging in new activities, whether it be physical or just social, any activity. I feel very confident engaging in it.
Speak about how that's different.
I just feel like I can do whatever I want to do, that I don't have any barriers in terms of holding me back or not physically able to do anything. I thought for a long time that I was having aches and pains, and I thought that it was just aging. And I learned, as I was going through this process, that it was not aging, that it was all of the pressure on my joints. And I no longer have that, which is fantastic. I don't even worry about it.
Oh, it's great. Well, I can imagine that's a day-to-day difference.
It is. It's huge.
Great. All right. Well, hold that thought on the positives. We're going to, again, revisit that throughout the discussion. And again, I would invite our audience to just sort of sit for a minute and think about, I'm speaking to those of you who've been in the program, had some success in the program. What is something, an experience, an insight, something that you're clear, boy, this is a difference, and it's one I really value. There are the obvious big things, and our viewers have shared these many times. John, Bob, many of our viewers have shared the big changes, but even the small changes, the small things that make a difference, because in that moment, they're really not small changes, are they? Because really our lives are made up of nothing more than moments. And if it makes a difference in the moment, that's your life, and it can be a life-changing, even those small things. So I'd invite our audience to be thinking about that as well for when we come back to this question. But back, Allie, to the motivations for joining the program. Let's get back into a little bit about what had them, our guests, joining HMR.
Yeah. So before HMR, I'd like to hear about maybe anything that happened specifically that led you to deciding to join HMR. So Beth, was there a trigger event, or what had you deciding to join our program?
Yeah.
Well, I had just, I'd switched jobs, positions. My old one got moved to Seattle. And so I was on my feet all day, and I had come away from a 10-hour day desk job that I gained, 50 pounds, maybe at least. And, you're just sitting at a desk at the computer, basically chained to it. And, you'll eat and everything right there. So losing that job really helped save my life, I think. And so I went then to a job where I'm on my feet the whole shift, very strenuous job. My legs were killing me.
Mm-hmm.
My ankles hurt, my feet hurt. I wanted a wheelchair to take me to the employee bus too. I didn't, but I had to walk so slow because it just hurt. And finally I called the doctor, and the doctor said, at the very end of our conversation, Elizabeth, your weight. And yeah. And because I wouldn't do cortisone, I go, yeah, it's just going to hide what really is there. And he said, every pound that you weigh is 6 pounds of pressure on your knees. And that somehow did a trigger. And I'm like, wow. And so then I really started hunting for a program, something. I was putting up the white flag. I was surrendering. I needed help. And I thought of different things. And I had done HMR in the past on my own, lost 25 pounds, don't even know why I stopped. But, then it came back because I didn't have you guys to help me. And then I looked at the program and did the virtual thing. And I just felt like I was hooked up to the IV and I was going to get through this. And it was really, you guys have saved my life.
Great.
You really have.
Powerful. It's so interesting to see how that figure that is often stated, the amount of reduction in stress in the knees. I heard a 4-to-1 relationship, a 5-to-1, you heard a 6-to-1, but the point is a little bit of weight loss leads to a huge release or reduction in the stress of your knees per step. And that's so interesting that so motivated you, Beth. Really cool.
Yeah. Yeah, because I started calculating, how much I was
Yep.
weighing,
Yep.
and way over 200 pounds then. And I just,
Yep.
that's terrible. They're never going to get better unless I do something about this. So
Yeah.
I couldn't just let it go anymore.
Yeah, even if you take the 4-to-1, 1 pound of weight loss is 4 less pounds of stress on the knee per step. And if you walk a mile, that's 2,000 steps or so. Now you're at 8,000 pounds less on the knee, and then 5 pounds or more miles. It's hard to get the head around. It's amazing. That's so cool, because I've always found that 4-to-1, 5-to-1, 6-to-1 reduction in stress in the knees is really compelling too. So that's cool.
Maybe
Cindy,
the doctor just said 6-to-1 to scare me. So if it's not true, it did the work. Thank you.
he overestimated like a fox on that one.
Yeah.
Cindy, what about you?
I had to go see a specialist, and I was not expecting to be weighed. But I was sitting in the waiting room, and I realized that they were calling everyone in and asking them to step on the scale. And I about levitated and very seriously considered writing my check for $75 to pay the cancellation fee and just getting out of there. I did have my appointment. I declined to weigh myself. I've never done that, but I just couldn't do it. However, I came home and I thought about it that night, and I thought just about how ridiculous it was that I would even consider canceling an appointment, on spot like that, because I didn't want to get on the scale. So the next morning, of course, in total privacy, with the door shut, the lights off, I got on the scale, and I was devastated because I had been working on trying to reduce my sugar intake and trying to lose weight. And I was shocked that I still weighed that much. And I want to preface this by, I have a coworker who also went through HMR and lost over 100 pounds. And she too has kept her weight off longer than I have. So I was very impressed, and I knew of the program, and I actually lived very near where the program was located at the time. So I walked out of the bathroom and I told my husband, I'm going to try, my coworker's name is Angie, I'm going to try Angie's program. And that is how I started. I knew it was successful, and she had always, spoke so well of it, and I was desperate.
Yeah. Yeah. Allie, we've heard that story. I'm sure you've heard that story more. I've heard that twice now. You've shared that. It doesn't get any less powerful upon rehearing it, does it, Allie?
It doesn't. And I mean, I've worked with Angie. Her story is just as amazing as Cindy and Beth's. So there's every single person associated with this clinic has a very powerful story.
Wow.
And if I could just add, I was so scared to go I don't know why. I was scared to get help. I think I thought people would be judgmental. That has not been my experience, and nor have any of my medical providers. They've been so wonderful and warm, even when I was still overweight, but I was starting to lose weight. They were all just like very interested in the program and what was happening. I mean, everyone has just been amazing. I have had nothing but support from anyone in the clinic, all of my medical providers, my coworkers, friends and family. Everyone's been wonderful.
Yeah. Hey, Cindy, Candace, who I have worked with quite a lot. Hi, Candace. Good to see you here with us. I relate to Cindy's doctor's office story. So, I mean, is a relatable story. I'm sure she's not the only one. Hey, Beth, I just want to ask you, Marsha is just shared that she needs to get a knee replacement, but they won't touch me until I lose weight. So Marsha, we're not sure where you are in the program, but do you have just a word or two of encouragement for her, Beth?
Oh, absolutely. And, the only time my knee hurts now is just sometimes when I'm in bed, just getting it tweaked just right, because it is bone on bone. But, my goal is either I've put off knee surgery or I won't have to face it at all. So right now, I mean, heck, I look for heels to go walk up, and and the knees don't bother me at all. I mean, the only thing I have to do is I have to find a bathroom. Other than that, I'd be walking all the way to New York. So
That's great. Really great. Hey, I'm going to use Sandra's post here to cue us to come back to some of the positives as you're working through your story. So Sandra just shared, I'm down 79.4 pounds, 0.4, every ounce matters. And about 15 more to go. I feel like a totally different person. So back to our question about health and quality of life benefits, improvements, things you're experiencing that you notice and are valuable to you. Cindy, what's another thing that's just better because of the work you've done here in the program?
Well, everything is better. I really liked being in the medical program just because I was experiencing a lot of obesity related disease, high blood pressure, high cholesterol. I was pre-diabetes. I liked it because they took my blood pressure weekly. So I could tell, like, as I started to lose weight, I could really see the correlation and my blood pressure started to drop. And eventually, like, we knew it was time to reduce my medication and eventually come off the medication. And then of course my lab work, is totally improved. And
Yes.
I think even the first one, 3 months after, I was already out of the pre-diabetes category, but
Wow.
everything has improved. And the thing that was so shocking is I had lab work, oh gosh, when was it? Last spring. And it was even better yet after all these years.
Huh.
It was
Wow.
unbelievable. I was so surprised.
Wow. So managing blood pressure, blood sugar, I mean, you could probably throw other things, blood cholesterol levels through lifestyle change. What an idea. What a concept. Well done. That's
no
great.
drugs.
Yeah, right, right. Beth, how about you? A positive that you're in touch with because of all the work you've put in.
I think just seeing my husband being so happy and impressed and supportive. I mean, we've been married 41 years, 5 kids. And, me, I was always larger. And it's just if I'm standing in front of him by the wood stove and he's sitting down reading, he's just, I'm so proud of you, and to get that, it's just puts me over the moon top happy. And then seeing too, what a positive effect it has on my older kids. Just how inspirational this is for them. Go mom, we're so proud of you. Wow. We can't even keep up with you when you come to visit, we go on walks. So I think that really hits home.
Yeah, absolutely. The difference. That's really awesome. All right, let's move into your experience with the actual weight loss. Just based on the conversation we all had last week, you both commented on 3 things: the simplicity of the program, the value of being in the box during your weight loss, and then of course, more is better. So what I'm going to ask our viewers, as we do every week, as you're hearing Beth and Cindy share about, again, the simplicity of the program, the value of the box, and the benefits of practicing more is better, please share about your perspective, any aspects of that you also found helpful. So Allie, why don't you take this part away in terms of their experience in phase 1?
Sure. One of the advantages in phase 1 is definitely the simplicity. So Cindy, can you talk about how that really made a difference for you?
I really liked it because I didn't have to think about anything. The only thing I had to think about was what I was ordering for the next week. I like that very much. It took away a lot of the stress. I find being overweight very, very stressful. Not knowing how to plan and prepare meals, that would meet my needs. I really liked that was already done for me.
Great. And Beth, how about you? Can you talk a little bit about the simplicity and how that made it easier for you?
It was so simple. I just go, I get the food, I eat the food, I weigh in. I didn't have to think about anything. And like I said before, I call it the I don't want to think about it plan. It's like, tell me what to do, show me what to eat. The food was delicious. And the gals that checked us in and weighed us and did all of that were amazing and so positive and encouraging. And yeah, it was just, you just, like I said, just do it. You
Yeah.
just do it. You know, you're making choices. You're making the choice to follow and stick to the plan. But when you do that, the results are incredible if you're willing to go the course.
Yeah. So let's dig in a little more on the simplicity. Probably the main feature that sort of encapsulates the simplicity of the program is we have in phase one, the weight loss phase, what we call the weight loss box. And the goal is to be in the box, meaning if you're on the medically supervised plan, eating only HMR foods. If you're on the healthy solutions plan, eating only HMR foods and fruits and vegetables. We'll get into, Allie, right? The fact that you can eat as many as you want. But just let's linger for a minute, guys, on the box concept. This whole idea of while you want to lose weight, you both have alluded to this, going all in, both feet in the weight loss box. How did that, which allows you to really take a break from old habits, how was that helpful for you, Cindy? If you really think about, and you might even think about some of those previous attempts in the history of trying to lose weight, why was this so useful for you, this concept of the box?
I think exactly what you just said. Taking a break from old habits. It had everything I needed to stay full. I really love the shakes, and I always have the shakes. I think they're a treat, but really allowing me to look at the volume of food, the volume of the shakes. There's nothing out there that can fill me up like a shake, the way I make them. So that was really helpful. I really buy into the concept of staying full in, having high volume, low calorie food. And that helps me make better choices when I am hungry.
Yeah. Yeah. It really is all about taking a break from old habits, right? The whole part-time dieting notion, which is actually pretty popular culturally. Oh, I try to stay on track during the week and then I take weekends off. And, I'm an engineer by training, so I'm like allergic to inefficiency. And the idea of working really hard to lose weight and then gaining weight and then needing to work to re-lose the weight that I lost recently, that just turns my brain upside down. So the part-time dieting, 1 foot in the old habits, 1 foot in the new habits, that's a tough one to lose weight consistently, and certainly almost impossible to lose a lot of weight with that approach. Beth, is anything you'd add about this concept of the box and being all in with both feet?
When you have to check that little box that you're in the box for the week. And oftentimes, even during the day, I have to stay in the box. Yeah. But that's what I needed. I needed that accountability to be able to check that box and be true to myself and to my classmates that I was in the box. It wasn't always easy to stay in the box, but I had to have a goal in mind. And it just really helped mentally, knowing that I was following the best path for me on this plan was staying in the box. And there's a reason to stay in the box, because once they say when you go out of the box, it's easier to justify it the next time. And I don't even want to go there.
Yeah, you must be reading the comments, Beth. Laurie just shared, I've lost count how many times people ask me if I get cheat days.
Yeah.
Right? What's your response to that, guys? Do you get cheat? What do you mean you don't get cheat day? Why are you not giving yourself the break? You're working so hard. You're doing so well. Why can't you give yourself a little break? It would just be one this Saturday night. Cindy, any response to that based on how well phase one worked for you?
One thing that really resonates with me still, one of my first nutritionists, Sarah, she always used to say, we need to protect our weight loss. So I would always think of that. When I was in phase one, I honestly didn't even lick a spoon. I was very strict, and I always thought about that. And I, unlike most of the people in the program that lose weight really quickly, I did not, but I was very consistent. But I was a slow loser, and I kept thinking, if this is so hard for me, why would I want to give any of that back? And the other thing about the in-class that I love is I would see the success of all of my classmates.
Yes.
And the amazing results that they were getting. And even though I was a slow loser, they would say, just stick with this, you'll have these great results too if you just keep doing this program. And it just was very inspiring to me to see their results and have their encouragement.
Yeah. Yeah. Anything you'd add to that, Beth? That was great, Cindy. It's really well said.
It is in the classroom setting, your classmates or your teammates, we're each other's rah-rah. And there's, you don't want to disappoint them, even though you might be cheating on yourself, you don't want to disappoint them. And so you just stick with it.
Yeah. Someone mentioned in the comments here the value of accountability just a moment ago. And it really is. It's not just accountable to your coach. There is sort of a supportive peer accountability. Would you agree with the group? I think that's sort of what you're saying, Beth.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, this idea of the box sounds fine, but if you're the average person out there, your whole philosophy around weight loss is I need to eat less and I need to be deprived and I need to somehow just learn how to be hungry. And you all know the drill on those misguided ways of thinking. So the box wouldn't have, much effect if we didn't have this little paradoxical concept called more is better. So Allie, let's talk about more is better with Beth and Cindy.
Yeah, so more is better. We spend a lot of time in phase 1 talking about more is better. What does that mean? Why does it work? Do you really, you're telling me I can eat more and still lose weight? Because it goes against everything that everybody's ever heard about losing weight.
Yep.
So I think it's the hardest concept in this program to wrap your head around. It doesn't make a lot of logical sense, but once people get on board with it, they start seeing really, really great results. So Cindy, can you kind of take us through your experience with embracing the concept of more is better?
Oh gosh, it's been so long, Allie. I mean, I still pretty much embrace that concept in terms of volume. But again, that's the key, is looking at volume that's low calorie that will keep me full.
That's it.
And previously, how I became so overweight is, like I said, I would skip meals. I would have like an apple for lunch and I would come home and I was starving, literally starving. I would walk through the door and walk straight to the refrigerator, into the cupboards. I don't even know how much I was eating, all while getting dinner ready for my husband and I. I was so hungry that I would just totally lose track. So in terms of this, and that's still a concept that I use in my forever eating plan, I look at, what is going to fill me up and, what is really low calorie and will keep me full. And many of the things that I eat are actually, they're really good. I mean, I look forward to eating them. But that is a key for me, is having a large volume of food that's low calorie.
Can I pause you on that? Because that right there is the complete thought. And people usually are just looking at the amount of food and they're not putting that additional layer of sophistication on what contributes to weight gain and what produces weight loss. Well, ultimately, calories are the dominant feature here. So you said it 3 times right there, but I just one more time, because there are some people who are watching and they're newer to the program, Cindy, which is the language of weight loss is calories. You can eat a lot of food. It doesn't have to mean it's a lot of calories. I'm just restating what you just said. And so you lost weight, you too, Beth, eating a lot of food, but not a lot of calories. That's the brilliance of the phase 1 weight loss plan. And Beth, you're alluding to, we're going to hear more about your experience in phase 2. You've continued that philosophy of high volume, but not a lot of calories. That's the key. Beth, what would you add? More is better. How did it help you?
Well, the first couple of weeks of the program, somehow I missed that more is better part. And when, I'm not kidding. And so we were in class and they were talking about either ordering or, well, did you have an extra entree? And I said, we can eat more than 2 entrees a day or 3 shakes. And they said, yeah, more is better. I'm like, are you kidding me? Really? I thought that's all I could have. And when I realized that, it was like a game changer. I mean, I had been in the box all during, those first couple weeks, but then knowing if I got hungry, or those little whatever come in your belly, it's like, it's okay. I can go grab another shake, or if I really needed another entree. And this was on the, before the fruits and vegetables.
Yes.
And it's great because hey, it's okay. I don't have to feel guilty about grabbing another meal or a shake or a hot cereal. It's okay because they're low calorie and they're healthy for you. And it just took that edge away. And you learn how to make, like Cindy said, these high volume shakes or mousse or a pudding and things that you wouldn't think. And at first when I made a mousse, I thought, oh my gosh, this is so much.
Yes.
It's all mine.
Yes. Making the shake, for those who don't know, Beth, making the shake in a food processor whips it up big. Like an real quick favorite flavor, favorite recipe, just real quick on the mousse. Do you have
the pistachio.
Yeah,
Love it. Yeah.
Yes. So the sugar-free, fat-free Jell-O instant pudding pistachio flavor. Can I just come back for a second? You've mentioned the apple during the day, and then you become your own worst enemy at night, right? Because you're hungry. That also is what's behind the more is better. It's just reality-based thinking that, we like to eat, our bodies need to eat, and somehow to think I'm going to figure out how to eat less when our bodies want to eat, that's not really a winning proposition in most cases. So the more is better sort of just acknowledges this idea of, if I really want to eat something, I'm probably going to eat something. Like you shared how you would sort of undercut your own efforts after just trying to have an apple during the day. So Cindy, is there anything else you'd say about just the freedom that comes along with the idea of, wow, I can lean into this and have more as opposed to trying to eat less? What else would you say about that?
Again, I think the whole key is staying full. I think if you are well nourished and you're full, you're going to make better decisions. And I, look back to when I was not eating well and gaining weight. That was a lot of the key to it. Is I was hungry and your blood sugar is low. You cannot make good decisions, and you're attracted to anything you can grab to eat. So, I really think for me, having a lot of good nutritional food, just evens out everything.
It's great. I'm going to now do our little commercial break to have you guys share something that is positive, some sort of a health or quality of life improvement that you're in touch with. And I'm going to use Marilyn. Hi, Marilyn. Worked with you before. She has, you guys ready for her benefits? She writes, oh, and one of my favorite benefits of the weight loss, I can scratch my own back. So, hey, I love it. That's great, Marilyn. So I'm going to just share again your photos, guys. And I would have each of you just share something else. Cindy, something else that you are appreciating as a function of the lifestyle changes you've made.
I love being able to go into the store. Actually, I don't shop very much. I love being able to order online and know that, I can order anything and it's going to fit me. I don't have to worry anymore about, oh, is that going to be too small? I mean, that's such freedom. I love that.
Absolutely. Wow. A real emotional freedom is, I can imagine with that. Beth?
I went in that picture is my work uniform. And I kept having to go to my specialist at work and have her take it in more because they were just getting so baggy, and my coworkers were commenting, you need to get a new uniform. And finally, the gal said, I can take your pants in one more time, but you're going to lose your pockets on the side, because she had to take so much in. And it was just great. My coworkers are such an encouragement to me. They said, you know, you've melted away right before our eyes. And it's just really been a great positive thing. And I went with a friend to Costco the other day, and I actually bought, I pulled out from the pile a size small, and I have never done this at all. And I held them up and I thought, I think those are going to fit me. I can't believe it. I am picking a small when I was in 18 to 20 back in April.
So
And it was the most giddy little girl feeling to be able to do that.
congratulations.
Allie,
Tanya.
do you remember, Allie, do you remember when I told you the first time that I was able to buy a size 6 pants and how excited I was?
Yeah.
I want to, when we talk about these improvements that you're experiencing, obviously there's the weight loss, but the lifestyle can independently support that. And physical activities just seems, and you guys have both talked about the fact that you become much more active. Allie, what else do we want to ask about physical activity before we turn the page from that?
Yeah, I mean, I think that both of you really bought into the importance of physical activity right away. And so sometimes that's not the case. We have so many people come to us not doing any physical activity, and that 2,000 number is really, really intimidating. But can you, both of you, talk a little bit about how you have built up your PA, over the time in the program? What specific activities have you added in, or how have you really made this a priority?
I found that if I'm sitting down, I better be sitting down on my bike. And so I would take the newspaper up there, or if I wanted to watch a football game, I'd take my phone up and watch it on there, because nothing was happening on the couch. And so it's just like, I was determined, if I'm reading or anything, it's up on my bike, because I can kill just as much time up there and get my PA in than as if I'm sitting on the couch. I can't get, and that doesn't count for nothing. And if I would take our grandson to the park, my husband and I, he'd stay there and watch him on the swing or whatever, and I would go do my, my hour walk through the neighborhoods looking for hills. So, it's just really trying to be creative with the activity, because it is such a key factor. Getting that physical activity and just doing the diet, changing your eating habits, it'll help, but the physical activity is the game changer.
Let me ask
Being
you,
active.
what you just shared, those two examples, on the bike, taking a walk at the park, that stands in such stark contrast to what you shared was happening with you and your knees and the immobility and the pain prior to HMR. Do you have any advice? This is a tough nut to crack for people if they're newer to the program. Is there any advice that you would share about how to start to peel that onion of becoming more active? Beth and Cindy, please feel free to chime in on that as well.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
When I first started, I was doing deep water aerobics, and I loved it. I thought it was really fun. It was one of the activities I could do that did not cause a lot of pressure on my joints. I eventually kind of outgrew that and started walking. We have golden retrievers, so now I walk 8 miles a day, not all at once. I usually do 3 different walks, but I love it. And I probably should be more open to like going to a gym and doing some things like that. But this is something that I love, that I'm able to sustain. So I do think it's very important for people to find things that they like eventually, that they're going to be able to do forever.
Do you may not have an answer to this, Cindy, but time is always at a premium for everybody. Everyone's so busy. Do you have any time management? If people have the oomph to get up, but it's like a time issue. Was there anything creative that you discovered just by sort of pushing the boundaries of trying to find more opportunities to move?
About a year into the program, I started working at home, like pre-pandemic. So that's been really helpful. I get up and I walk before work.
Mhm.
with my dogs and, come back and start work. And then I walk during my lunch break. And then we walk in the evening, usually after dinner.
Yeah, great, great.
I mean,
Beth,
I do ride my bike and do some other things, but truly I walk most of the time. And what I love about it is, I mean, I have routes here, and at my house that I do, but you can do it anywhere.
mhm. Yeah, walking's the perfect exercise. It really is. Beth, anything you'd add about like the method that you used, strategies to go from doing none to becoming an exerciser? I mean, this is fabulous.
I mean, starting slow. And now even just within the last month, at my work, I park now at the very end of the parking lot, and the employee bus picks me up, but then when they drop me off, I get off at the first stop and walk. It's only like 7 minutes, but it's 7 minutes. And I'll do that. On my afternoon break, I'll do a 10-minute walk. I work at the airport, so I'll do a walk around there for 10. And on my lunch, instead of sitting down, even though I'm on my feet all day, I'll sit down for 10 minutes, eat my lunch, and then go out and walk for a 20 around the concourse.
Really
And
great.
it all adds up. Just these little bits and pieces add up, and it keeps, your heart going. It refreshes you.
Yes.
It's not like you have to get on your exercise clothes. You got to go to the gym, or you've got to do some program. You can do it right where you're at. Just keeping it simple. Something like Cindy said, something you can sustain and do that you
I
enjoy.
love you both hit on multiple bouts and even short bouts of exercise, which are so easy to discount. But if you can start to appreciate, wow, I have 5 minutes here or I have 10 minutes there are so many more 5 or 10-minute opportunities in a day than there are my 45-minute work. I mean, how many real 45-minute openings in the day are there for exercise? There might be one, maybe. Yeah, so really that's strong advice from both of you. Allie, I want to just real quick, I don't think we want to spend too much time on this, but in our audience and certainly people who watch these events after the fact, many of them are in coaching, whether it's in a clinic or in our remote program, but others are doing the program on their own. Last week when we spoke, both of you spoke about how valuable it was for you to do the program in the clinic at PeaceHealth. So can you just speak for a minute about how that made a difference? How does coaching make a difference? And I would also ask our viewers how coaching has helped you, just in case there's someone watching who's on the fence about maybe I should do the coaching, but I don't know, I kind of want to do this on my own. What would you say about that, Cindy? Start us off.
The nutritionists have never been wrong. I really, everything they have told me has been spot on. And I was often doubtful. Like I didn't want to move from phase 1 to phase 2. I always say they kicked me out. I was very doubtful, but honestly, it was great. And I think the approach of taking things slowly, adding a protein every week or whatever. I mean, it really helped me with the meal planning, which is so important. It helped me learn how to cook to sustain my smaller body. And the accountability, I think, is, key. Like I said, going to the clinic and seeing the results that everyone else had was so much incentive for me to continue going, seeing the other people's results. Yeah, I thought it was just all a really great experience. I mean, I still go, after all of these years, and I still think it's a good experience and valuable.
Wonderful. And you're doing so well. It's just
Thank you.
very unusual, in our society today for someone to have lost as much as you have lost and to be doing, as Ali had said earlier, just managing your weight loss so tightly. Well done. Really well done. Beth, what else would you say about the value of coaching? And then we'll move on.
The value is priceless. It's worth every penny. And again, just the classroom setting, your teammates, and your coaches pushing you, just enough to trigger something in you. I know in me, I've had 2 classroom teachers, Mary and Jessie. They're both fabulous, fabulous in their own ways. And, they both have a way of just knowing like what button they need to push to get me to that next level, or maybe to up my PA a little bit. Different ways to try the food, to cook it, which again, it's fabulous. I love it. And the hot cereal every morning. It's just really invaluable. And if you are able, for people out there that are watching, to do the classroom setting, it is the game changer. It's just really great having that support system built in. And you get used to it. It's like every Wednesday, it's like nothing is taking me away from my Wednesday class. Maybe my daughter had a child, but that's about it. I would remote in, I would do virtual.
That's great.
Rick, if I could just add to, I think the transitioning to eating your own food, learning about that. And I feel really confident that I have the skills to maintain my weight because of what I've learned. It's just invaluable. And I think that is what really sets aside from different weight loss programs. I think there's a lot of meal replacements programs where you can initially lose some weight, but I think that knowledge that you receive, the professional piece, I really understand, where I'm at and what I need to do to maintain my smaller self.
Really supportive comments. Thank you for those. A lot of people in the feed are adding in additional comments in support of the coaching. The coaches at PeaceHealth are amazing, Monica. I just read one here. I chuckled at it. Janice wrote, "I never thought I would like the coaching, but I figured I would humor people and go. Now I look forward to the meeting every week. It is so supportive, non-judgmental, so important. And you learn so much. I absolutely love it." Janice, thank you for that fabulous testimonial about the coaching. Allie,
and that's kind of what I found too. Like, I knew the diet worked. So I thought, okay, I'll just jump through the hoops of this and, so I can have access to the diet. And I found the reverse to be true. I think the diet is a great tool, but I think the coaching and the knowledge of the nutritionists and the support of the classmates is the pure magic of the program.
Wonderful. I'm going to ask if there's anything else that either of you would like to share as it relates to our recurring question of improvements in your health or quality of life, your day-to-day experience that you really value as a function of how seriously and urgently you took on the program and the success that you've had. Anything else that comes to mind? And then Allie, you can ask, our final question here. Anything, Beth, that you haven't yet shared around?
I'm just so thankful, just really how great my legs feel. When I go walking, it's just like I can go, and to not have the pain in my body, and it makes me so happy that I've got this great body that God gave me. It's the only one I've got, and He's told me to take really good care of it, and I didn't for quite a long time. But I'm really happy that I am have a body now that is a reflection of Him, and I'm healthy and I'm happy, and I've got HMR to really thank for this, for really giving me a healthy life again for the rest of my life.
Awesome. Give yourself credit for doing what you did. There were tools available, but you're the one that put them into play. Cindy, anything that you have yet to share?
I kind of echo the same. I'm just so very grateful. And again, I feel very confident that I can move forward and will no longer, have the issues that I had previously. I feel like I've developed enough skills to maintain a smaller body.
Great. Allie, any follow-up or final questions that you want to pose before we wrap up the conversation?
Yeah, I mean, we heard so many positive things about your experience and how your life is different. If anyone would have said before you started that you could lose 75 pounds, that you could lose over 100 pounds, and you would enjoy exercise and all the things that you talked about today, what would you have said to them if somebody said, this is where you would be?
You're crazy. There's no way. There's no way that's ever going to happen.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's great. That's a good answer.
But I'm so happy it wasn't true. It did happen.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, guys, it was really great. I hope that everyone watching enjoyed hearing Beth and Cindy's story. Allie, again, thanks for sort of helping to really make this happen. And thank you guys for your time. You know, it's been an hour, but it was more than that because we had our conversation last week. But just we really appreciate you being here and being generous with sharing a little bit about your life with HMR before and during with our viewers. So thank you for that. And for those of you who are watching, as always, thanks for spending time with us on a Thursday. We hope that this conversation served as a reminder for why all the work that you are putting in is worth it. And I'll just end by with a final promotion here. Next week will be our final Facebook Live event of the year. And let me just forward our screen here. And we're going to be joined by, on the left, a familiar face, Shane, who needs no introduction. Shane has been my co-host several times on Facebook Live. And so many of our viewers have shared that he's been just such an inspiration. Shane lost 160 pounds in the program. Joining Shane is Chuck, who is the person who heads up the whole clinic that Shane lost, and Shane and so many other people lost their weight in and had just remarkable success. And I'll just say about Chuck, who lost over 100 pounds in the program as well. Shane simply refers to him as the man. And I'll leave it at that as a teaser for next week. It will be appointment viewing. Let me just say that to our guests. So I hope people can be here next Thursday night. And with that, it's a wrap. Guys, thanks again. It was a blast. I hope you had a good time.
It was fun.
Cool.
Thank you.
Give
All
HMR
right.
a try. It's so worth it.
Thanks for that, Beth. Bye, everyone. Have a great night. Take care.